Hello, welcome back. I'm Scott Schubert with Trading Mastermind, and today I'm going to show you exactly how you can start generating your own Forex trading signals, not for the purpose of selling them to someone else, but for the purpose of you using those signals to trade and to get profit in your trading business and to create a trading business that actually works for you. So let's get started with that right now. If this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe below and click on the bell icon to make sure that you're notified instantly of all new videos that we make. What happens is a lot of people are interested in the idea of making money from Forex trading, but then they realize that it's a little bit more difficult than they originally anticipated, so they want to get signals from someone else who they think might be a successful trader. And as soon as these new people come into this group, I see all these other people say, free signals, inbox me and I'll set you up on, I don't know what it is that they're trying to make money off of being an introducing broker. Whatever it is that they're doing is just not about a person being able to trade. So then I noticed over the last few years that the idea of getting trading signals from other people has become very popular. If you've been involved at all with using Forex trading signals, I think that you will agree that something that would be much more desirable for you would be if you could just generate your own trading signals. And the purpose would not be to sell them to someone else, but it would be for you to use them for your trading business, right? A lot of people, in fact, people have contacted me saying, hey, I have really figured out how to trade. Can you help me to sell my trading signals? And I was just thinking, what is freaking wrong with you? Okay, I can tell you what's wrong with you is that in your subconscious mind, you don't believe or have any intention that you will make money from trading. Even though you say that you figured out how to trade, you're not planning to make money from trading. You're planning to make money from selling your signals. So that's a big problem, don't you think? That the beginning of all success is in the intention. What's the intention? So you got to get clear about what is your intention. And for anyone who has any real intention of learning the trading business or even being involved in the trading business, your intention should be, I am going to learn to trade, and then I'm going to trade, and then I'm going to generate increase in capital and get profit and make money from trading. First of all, if your intention is to get involved in trading and just get signals from someone else, your intention is not to ever master the business of Forex trading. What happened to the intention of getting profit from trading? Because if you've looked at some of my videos on how much money you can make in trading, and there's a Forex income calculator that can kind of guide you, you could take any amount, and if you know how to trade, you could increase that amount, increase the capital. You could take any amount, you could take $100. If you know how to trade, you could take that $100 and multiply it until eventually you would have hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even $1 million. It's just a matter of how much time it would take if you know how to trade and to get consistent profit. Is that not a mathematical fact? If you're not intending that your money is going to be made from trading, then there's something wrong with your unconscious mind that's blocking it from you, and that's what you have to work on. So if you want to generate your own Forex trading signals, the first step is to learn to trade. And I'm not being facetious about that. I am serious that if you have any intention of being involved in anything to do with the trading business, trading Forex or anything else, the first step that you want to do is to learn to trade. And that first step might be a difficult step, and it might take a while. In fact, wouldn't you think that of course it would take a while? How could it not? Of course it will take a while. So if you're going to make that decision, let's be honest. I've made the decision. I want to be involved in trading. The first step is to learn to trade. That will take a while. Now let's get started. Unfortunately, once you get started, you may be attracted to things that don't produce results for you. So you will come in contact with all the different types of scams and trading education stuff that can keep you busy forever but never give you results. Well, if you do find something that shows you how to trade and you're able to get results from that, the first step is to learn to trade. And the first step to learn to trade is to be able to read financial markets, read charts. Read charts like a language. So if you want to generate your own Forex trading signals, the first step would be to learn to trade. The first step of learning to trade would be to learn to read charts. And then learning to read charts would give you the skill of identifying turning points. I've been involved in the trading business for many years, and as far as I know, if you want to learn to identify turning points, the best way to do that is to begin by signing up for our free training series at tradingmastermind.com. Okay, so in order to learn to trade, in order to read financial markets and identify turning points, what would you need to do in order to do that? The thing that you would need to do is to be able to recognize these two things on charts. One would be, where is there a trend on a chart? And the other would be, where is a correction on a chart? You should be able to take any chart and immediately recognize where's the trend on this chart. Once you can identify those two things, it is possible for you to develop a skill to be able to identify the end of a correction and the end of a trend. And I have a number of different videos that demonstrate this process. And I will tell you right now that unfortunately, you won't be able to master that skill from watching one YouTube video. It takes at least 6 months to 3 years to master that skill. And there are a number of different things involved other than just one thing. And that's why some people are disappointed when they watch a video and they go, oh, I didn't master how to play Mozart on the piano from watching this 15-minute video. I may have to watch 2 videos. But for those of you who are committed and really want to possess the real value that this skill gives you, you know that that's nothing. It's a simple thing, and it's not that much effort. Just a few years of practice isn't really that much effort to develop this kind of a skill when you think about how valuable the skill is. So on this chart, is this a trend right here? And is this a correction to a trend right here? And if so, what would we need to identify the end of a correction? Or could you identify a turning point not even knowing whether it's the end of a trend or the end of a correction and enter a trade and then observe what happens next and then make another decision whether you want to get out or stay in? That's another subject that I've covered in a number of other videos, and if you don't quite get that right now, I'll show it to you more in other videos. For right now, let me just show you some examples of what these patterns look like. If you can look at this chart, and can you see a trend here? Can you see a correction right here? And does it look like you could identify the end of that correction? Even if you're just starting to get the idea, how to identify the end of a correction, how to identify the end of a trend, You are on your way to being able to generate your own Forex trading signals and use them to make a lot of profit. Here's another example. Can you see the trend on this chart? Can you see the correction on this chart? Can you see the place where the correction ended? There are a number of things that are involved, and like I say, you won't necessarily master this skill from watching one video, but if you have guidance and you're repeating this process every day and practicing it, you will develop this skill. Can you see a turning point on this chart? Can you see the turning point on this chart? The trend and the correction. This is the same one, but it's shown with some Fibonacci projection areas in addition, that this is a highly probable place for that to turn. And we knew that in advance, that it might be a highly probable place for it to turn. When we see that it is turning, we recognize it right away. Can you see that there's a trend on this chart, that this is a correction, and that this looks like an end of a correction? That's all you need to worry about right now. Can you see those things? If you're starting to be able to see those things, you may be well on your way to mastering the skill of how to trade. In order to generate your own Forex trading signals, the first step is to learn to trade. The first step to learn to trade is to learn to read charts and read financial markets. In doing that, that will enable you to identify turning points, places where there's an end of a trend or the end of a correction. What I have found that most of the industry doesn't even believe that it's possible to do, and yet we have proven that it's quite possible for anyone to identify turning points with a certain degree of accuracy. Good enough accuracy to get an increase in capital. Okay, so for instance, on this chart of the US dollar index, non-weighted, you might see that there are two primary corrections on this part of the chart. One of them ended right here, and one of them ended right here. The ability to identify that point, can you see that would be a good point to enter and to go long? Is that part clear? Is that part clear that this area right here would be a good place to enter and go long, and this area right here would be a good place to enter and go long. This area right here would be a good place to enter and go long. A lot of people would say, you're just pointing at that in hindsight, and yes, I am. But when we entered there at those points, I was not doing it in hindsight. And all the other times every day when we are looking for these entries, we're not doing it in hindsight. And so the ability to do it in real time and to identify those points, that's something that I can show you. It's not something that I could show you in a video on YouTube, but it's something that you could learn and practice and could become a part of your lifetime knowledge and skill if you make a decision that you're going to do that. So I encourage you to make that decision that you're going to do that. Make it happen so that you can see those and generate your own trading signals yourself and be right most of the time over and over again, so that other people might wish that they could get your trading signals, but you're not going to sell them because your talent is going to be much better used for trading your account. Might that be something that you would rather do, is just to trade your account, even if it's just a $100 account? You could multiply that over and over until it's a lot more. That's where the money is. So I encourage you to not settle for anything less than that. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And remember to trade deliberately and live your life deliberately as well.